So first thing I'm going to do is go ahead and show you where you can find your new iExcel links.
Yay!
Yeah, you got new ones. You got new ones.
No. Can we do them in class today?
Not today. Later this week you will have time, just not today.
Okay.
All right, so same place. Click on your iExcel.
Nope.
Okay. I'm probably going to add another one. They are due for a midterm grade for second 9 weeks on Wednesday, November 16th by 2:30 p.m. So by the end of the school day on Wednesday, November 16th.
But we start checking ours.
All right, so today we're going to look at creating linear functions. All right, so when you're creating a linear function, what are the 3 things? Well, really you need 2 things, and it needs to be in a certain form. What form does it have to be? Linear function, so what form should we have it in? Slope-intercept form. So your equation needs to be in slope-intercept form. So if an equation is in slope-intercept form, what are the 2 things you need? You need a slope and you need a y-intercept. Who can remind me in our slope-intercept form what variables mean slope? M. And what variable means y-intercept? Luke?
B.
B. You seem very excited about that.
Hunter's good.
And what is slope-intercept form? What's that equation? Y equals?
MX plus B.
Mx plus B. Where M is your slope, B is your y-intercept, and it's either positive or negative. And x and y are 2 coordinates, or is a coordinate, I should say. 2 values that make up 1 coordinate. So if I gave you let's say I give you a slope and a y-intercept, and I want you to create a linear function or an equation to represent that problem. Okay, so let's say I want you to create a linear function that has a slope of 4 and passes through the point 6, 4. Do you agree that you have one thing that you need to create your equation?
Yeah.
What do you have? You have your slope. What are you missing? Your y-intercept. Alright, so I want you to talk with the people in your group for the next few minutes and see if you can figure out how you would figure out what your y-intercept was and what your linear function's equation would be. You have like 3 minutes. Go. We're coming back together. What is one way some of you use to solve it? How many of you thought about graphing it? Graphing your point and then using your slope, okay? How many of you guys maybe made a table of values? No? Okay. How many of you guys used your equation and did substitution? All right, so the way that I would do it is if I have y equals mx plus b, I know that my equation has to be in this form. Knowing what I have the point 0.64 and I have the slope of 4. Do I have a y value? Yeah. What is my y value? 4. Do I have my slope? What is my slope? 4. Do I have an x value? Clay? 6. Because do you agree, and do I have my b? No. Do you agree that ordered pairs are written as x comma y? Yes, absolutely. So now could I just solve this like a simple two-step equation? Yes. 4 times 6 is 24. Subtract 24 from both sides to get negative 20 equals b. So my y-intercept is negative 20. So how would I create the equation for that? What would your equation look like? Because now you have your slope and your y-intercept. So what would your equation look like? Luke?
Oh. 4x minus 19.
20. 20. Our y-intercept is negative 20. Y equals 4x minus 20. We have our slope of 4 and our y-intercept of negative 20. Now, if you solve this using a graph, let's say you solve this using a graph.
That's handy. And I have one.
All right, so I need to first plot my point. What was that point? 6, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, if I'm using my slope and it's a positive 4, what's my change of y values? 4. And what's my change of x values? 1. Okay? So I could go decrease by 4, decrease by 1. 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 Oh no, I don't have enough space. But if I kept going on my graph, I would eventually have the point 0, negative 20 if I continue to decrease. So can you still solve this using a graph? Yeah. Absolutely. But which way do you think is simpler?
The one you did.
What did I do with those values? I substituted them. I substituted them into my kind of starting point, my base, and solved for the variable that I did not know. So let me give you another one. How many of you guys got this as your equation? Good job. All right, so now I want you, now that you've kind of seen a couple different ways you can do it, I want you to create an equation that has a slope of 1/4 and passes through the point 0, 6. You have 3 minutes to do this one with your people in your group.
Maybe even 5.5. I'll settle for 4.
What if I told you that without doing any math,
You can get the answer.
I could tell you that your slope is 1/4, your y-intercept is 6, and that y equals 1/4 x plus 6. How do you think I did that besides, don't say, well, you're really good at math, Miss Lyons. You probably did it in your head. No, I didn't.
Yeah, Miss Lyons.
Okay? Do I have my slope? Yes, so I was given my slope of 1/4. What ordered pair was I given, Luke?
0, 6.
0, 6. Huh. What do we know about the ordered pair of our y-intercept? What value will always be 0? Your x value. So did I also give you the y-intercept? But did I give it to you in a different form than saying blatantly the y-intercept is 6? Did you have to use some knowledge that you knew? Yes. Now, if you plugged it in and did the equation, how many of you plugged the values in and solved for b? Did you get the same thing? So if I plug in 6 for y, 1/4 for slope, 0 for x, plus b. Well, 0 times any number is 0. And if I add 0 to any value, does it change the value of it? No. So 6 is still equal to b. So when you have problems like that, take a look at your point. Take a look at your point and think, do I already have my y-intercept? Now what if I gave you the point 6, 0? You have your x-intercept, but we don't necessarily need that for this specific linear functions. You'll need those for quadratics. Oh, which don't worry, we'll get into this year. Alright, so I'll try this one.
Do we have to write that out?
No.
He says thank you for letting him babysit your wonderful child.
Alright, create a linear function that has a slope of 3/2 and passes through the point 4, 0. You have 3 minutes to work with the people in your group. Go. So I know that my slope or my n value is what? 3/2. Do I know my y-intercept? Nope. Alright. What am I substituting in for y? 0, because that's my y value. What am I substituting in for n?
3 seconds.
3/2.
3 seconds?
And what am I substituting in for x? 4. Alright, can I go ahead and solve this from here?
Yes.
3/2 times 4. I could set that up over here to the side. And I know that 4 as a fraction is just 4 over 1. 3 times 4 is?
12.
2.
2 times 1 is?
2.
And what does that simplify to?
6.
Yay.
Now, what do I do to figure out what my b value or my y-intercept is? Subtract 6 from both sides. To get b is equal to? -6. So what would my equation look like for this problem? Gabby? Y equals what? Clay? Gabby, I didn't look at your equation, I just looked at your y-intercept. Y equals 3/2 x minus 6. My slope is 3/2, not -6. And my y-intercept is -6. Do we agree? Okay. I'm going to give you 2 examples, and then I'm going to give you a sticky note. On your sticky note, you are going to put your final equation that you got for these functions that pass through a certain point and have a slope of a certain point. Am I okay, instead of writing all that out, can I just put slope equals point equals, and we be okay? Okay. So slope equals 1/2 point equals 2/8 for number 4. Number 5, slope equals 6. Let's go with a -6. Point equals 12/3. On your sticky note that I'm going to give you, it's going to be a little one, but on your sticky note you're going to put your name at the top. Your name, not mine. You're going to cut it in half, put your equation for 4 on this side, and your equation for 5 on this side. Got it?
That's hard.
Okay, but I want you to do this individually. I don't want you to talk with the people in your group for this one. When you're finished, you can come put your sticky notes on the smart board.